John, okay. And if we need to apologize for a delay, we can write, "We apologize for the delay and appreciate your patience." Alice, yes, that's very professional. Always acknowledge issues politely and offer solutions. John, how about asking questions in emails? Should we use "can you" or something else? Alice, it's better to use polite forms like, "Could you please provide," or "Would you mind sharing?" It sounds much more respectful. John, I see. So, "Could you please provide the updated timeline?" is better than "Send me the timeline." Alice, exactly. Also, we can use phrases to show collaboration. For example, "We look forward to working with you on this project." John, that's very useful. I think combining clarity, politeness, and professionalism is the key. Alice, yes, John. And don't forget to proofread the email before sending it. Check for grammar, punctuation, and clarity. John, that's important. Even small mistakes can make an email look unprofessional. Alice, absolutely. Another tip is to keep the subject line clear. For example, project update. Phase 1 completion clearly tells the recipient what the email is about. John, oh, I see. So the recipient can quickly understand the purpose without opening the email. Alice, exactly. And if the email is long, we can summarize the key points at the beginning. John, that's very helpful. It saves time for both the sender and the recipient. Alice, yes. So, John, let's practice writing a full email together using all these tips. I'll start. Alice, typing aloud, "Dear Mr. Smith, I hope this email finds you well. We are pleased to inform you that the first phase of your project has been successfully completed. Please find attached the detailed report for your review. We would appreciate your feedback and look forward to your response. Thank you for your time and consideration." John, that sounds perfect, Alice. I can try the next one. "Dear Ms. Johnson, I hope you are doing well. We apologize for the delay in sending the latest updates. Attached is the report for your review. Could you please provide your feedback at your earliest convenience? Looking forward to working with you on the next phase." Alice, excellent. See, John, combining polite phrases, clear structure, and proper greetings makes your email professional and effective. John, I feel much more confident writing emails now. Practicing like this really helps. Alice, yes, John. Consistent practice and using these phrases will make writing professional emails in English much easier over time. John, thank you, Alice. I'm ready to apply this in real work emails now. Alice, hi, John. Today, let's practice negotiation phrases in English. Negotiation is very important in business. John, yes, I agree, Alice. Sometimes I find it difficult to express my points clearly and politely during negotiations. Alice, don't worry. The key is to stay polite, professional, and confident. Let's start with opening the negotiation. For example, "Thank you for meeting with us today. We are excited to discuss how we can collaborate." John, that sounds good. And if we want to state our proposal, we can say, "We propose a partnership where we handle your marketing strategy while you focus on product development." Alice, excellent. Always use clear sentences. Avoid long, complicated explanations at the beginning. John, got it. What if the client asks about pricing? Alice, then we can say, "Our standard rate for this service is $5,000 per month. However, we are open to discussing options that fit your budget." John, oh, I like that. It sounds professional but flexible. Alice, yes. Negotiation is about finding a balance. If the client suggests a lower price, we can respond, "We understand your concern. Let's explore a plan that works for both of us." John, that makes sense. How about asking questions during negotiation? Alice, use polite phrases like, "Could you clarify your expectations regarding the deliverables?" Or, "Would you mind explaining your preferred timeline?" John, okay. So we ask politely, but we also get the information we need. Alice, exactly. Another important tip is summarizing points during the discussion. For example, just to confirm, we agreed on the 3-month trial period at $4,500 per month, correct? John, that's very useful. It avoids misunderstandings. Alice, yes. And if the client raises concerns, always acknowledge them. For example, "I understand your concern about the timeline. Let's see how we can adjust our schedule to meet your requirements." John, I see. So empathy and understanding are very important. Alice, absolutely. Negotiation is not just about numbers. It's about building a relationship. John, that's a good point. How about closing the negotiation? Alice, for closing, we can say, "Thank you for discussing the terms with us. We are confident this agreement will be beneficial for both parties." John, okay. And if we need to follow up, we can say, "We will send the final contract by tomorrow for your review." Alice, perfect. Another phrase is, "Please feel free to reach out if you have any further questions or adjustments." It leaves the conversation open and positive. John, that's very professional. I think staying calm and polite makes a huge difference. Alice, yes. And if we want to suggest alternatives, we can use phrases like, "Another option could be," or "We can consider adjusting the scope to fit your budget." John, I like that. It shows we are flexible, but still in control of the negotiation. Alice, exactly. Role-playing negotiation scenarios helps a lot. Let's try a short example. Alice, acting as client, we think the monthly cost is too high. Can you offer a discount? John, acting as company, we understand your concern. Another option could be a 3-month trial period at a slightly reduced rate. Would that work for you? Alice, that sounds very professional. You acknowledged the concern and offered a solution politely. Alice, hi John. How was your weekend? John, hello Alice. My weekend was good. Thank you. I went hiking with some friends. How about you? Alice, that sounds fun. I spent my weekend reading a book about leadership. It was really interesting. John, oh, leadership? That's great. Can you tell me the title? Alice, yes, it's called Leading with Empathy. It talks about how understanding your team can improve productivity. John, sounds useful. I think empathy is very important, especially in business meetings like this. Alice, absolutely. By the way, are you ready for today's meeting? John, I think so. I reviewed the agenda this morning. We will discuss the quarterly sales report and the new marketing strategy, right? Alice, exactly. Let's start with the sales report. How do we explain the numbers clearly in English during the meeting? John, maybe we can start by summarizing the key points first. For example, this quarter, our sales increased by 15% compared to the last quarter. Alice, yes, that's perfect. We can also use phrases like, "The main driver of this growth is," or "We noticed a significant improvement in." John, oh, I like that. So, for example, I can say, "The main driver of this growth is the new online marketing campaign." Alice, exactly, John. And if someone asks a question, we can respond politely. For instance, "That's a good question. Let me provide more details." John, okay, I'll practice that. What if someone asks about a decrease in sales in a specific region? Alice, then we can say, "Although sales in this region decreased slightly, we are implementing new strategies to improve performance." John, great. I see how these phrases make us sound professional. Alice, yes. Small talk at the beginning of a meeting is also important. We can say things like, "I hope everyone had a great week," or "It's nice to see you all today." John, that's helpful. And how about introducing new topics? Alice, for transitions, we can use phrases like, "Moving on to the next topic," or "Now, let's discuss." John, got it. So, I can say, "Moving on to the new marketing strategy, we plan to." Alice, perfect, John. See, these phrases are simple but effective for business English. John, I feel more confident now. Practicing like this makes it easier to remember. Alice, yes, practice is key. Even during real meetings, we can use short sentences to sound confident. John, Alice, do you think we should also practice asking questions politely? Alice, absolutely. For example, instead of saying, "Why did sales drop?" we can say, "Could you please explain why sales in this region decreased?" John, oh, that sounds much more professional. Alice, exactly. Politeness is very important in business English. It shows respect and professionalism. John, I think I understand. So, the main points are, start with small talk, summarize key points, use polite questions, and transition smoothly. Alice, yes, John. That's a great summary. Now let's practice this dialogue a few more times so it feels natural. Alice, hi, John. Are you ready for our client call? John, yes, Alice. I've prepared the key points. Who will start the conversation? Alice, I think I can start with a greeting. For example, "Good morning, Mr. Smith. This is Alice from XYZ Company. How are you today?" John, that sounds perfect. I can follow by introducing our agenda. We'd like to discuss the progress of your project and any updates you might have. Alice, yes. During the call, we should also use polite phrases like, "Could you please clarify?" or Would you mind explaining? John, got it. So, if the client asks about the timeline, I can say, we are on schedule and expect to complete the next phase by Friday. Alice, exactly. And if the client mentions a concern, we should respond calmly. For example, I understand your concern. Let's see how we can address it together. John, that's a good point. We should avoid sounding defensive. Alice, yes, professionalism is key. Also, we can ask for feedback politely. We'd appreciate your feedback on the latest design draft. John, that works. What about closing the call? Alice, for closing, we can say, thank you for your time, Mr. Smith. We look forward to your feedback and we'll follow up next week. John, that sounds very professional. I see how using polite phrases makes a big difference. Alice, exactly. Also, we should repeat important points for clarity. Just to confirm, the deadline for the first phase is next Friday, correct? John, yes. Repeating ensures no misunderstandings. And using phrases like, as discussed, helps summarize. Alice, right? For example, as discussed, we will send the final report by Monday. John, okay, I feel more confident. Can we also practice responding to unexpected questions? Alice, absolutely. If the client asks about additional costs, we can say, we are currently reviewing the budget and will provide detailed information shortly. John, that sounds polite and professional. Alice, yes, John. Another important tip is using phrases like, let me check and get back to you, if you don't have an immediate answer. John, that's useful. It shows honesty and professionalism. Alice, exactly. And always end the call on a positive note, like, we appreciate your collaboration and look forward to a successful project. John, I like that. It leaves a good impression. Alice, yes, leaving a positive impression is very important in business English. John, Alice, can we also practice handling multiple questions during a call? Alice, sure. We can say, let's address your questions one by one to ensure everything is clear. John, that makes sense. It keeps the conversation organized. Alice, absolutely. Another phrase we can use is, I will follow up with a detailed email after this call. John, that's helpful. It reassures the client that nothing will be missed. Alice, yes. So, the key points for a professional client call are polite greetings, clear agenda, calm responses, summarizing points, and ending positively. John, perfect. Let's role-play the entire conversation now to make it feel natural. Alice, hi John. Today, let's practice writing professional emails in English. Emails are very important in business communication. John, yes, I agree, Alice. I often find it challenging to write polite and clear emails. Alice, don't worry. We can start with the basic structure. Every email should have a greeting, a clear introduction, the main message, and a polite closing. John, okay. So, for example, if we are writing to a client, we can start with, Dear Mr. Smith, I hope this email finds you well. Alice, exactly. That's a very professional opening. Another option is, I hope you are doing well. It's polite and friendly. John, got it. What about the main message? How do we write it clearly without making it too long? Alice, for clarity, we should use short sentences and bullet points if necessary. For example, we would like to provide you with the latest updates on your project. John, that makes sense. And if we want to explain the progress, we can write, the first phase of the project has been completed successfully. The next phase will start on Monday. Alice, perfect. Also, we should use polite phrases to show professionalism. For instance, we would appreciate your feedback, or could you please review the attached document? John, oh, I like that. So, instead of saying, check this document, we say, could you please review the attached document? It sounds much more polite. Alice, yes, John. Politeness is very important in business emails. Now, what about ending the email? John, I usually write, regards, John. But is there a better way? Alice, that's fine. But we can make it more professional with phrases like, looking forward to your response, or thank you for your time and consideration. John, that sounds good. I think it leaves a better impression. Alice, exactly. Also, if we are attaching files, we can mention it politely. For example, please find attached the latest report for your review.